Hello there, Bic Benedict here. We're playing God of War Ascension on Titan difficulty, and this is my No Upgrade Run Plus. We're currently on chapter 24 of 30. It is entitled The Shoulder of Apollo. So at the beginning of this fight, you want to immediately use the clone, and then grab yourself a shield if you don't have one. And then you want to be grabbing, we'll stay in the upper right corner at first. The camera is going to pull back with enemies as they vie for screen time. But if you stay at the top right for the beginning of the fight, you'll be able to camera whore and stay up there as much as possible. So my best advice here is to, as you've been seeing me do, grapple chain the grunts and use the triangle attack to just throw them over. Use the shields to stun the juggernauts. Don't use all of the shields though. Make sure that you end the fight having one, or there's some on the ground if you don't have one in your possession. And when the ones with shields turn up, now I know there were some with shields at the very beginning, but at about this time, see this? I made this mistake over here of accidentally grabbing that one. When they show up, drop magic. That's what I usually do. I usually drop magic to I try to find the like where there's a cluster of them. I get right in the middle of it as best as I can, and then I drop magic. That will deal some damage to the juggernauts hopefully. And also what you want to do is to use the magic, because that will kill the ones with the shields, or at least take the shields off of them. And when you might wonder, well, why do you want to throw the shields at the juggernauts? Well, it's a good opportunity to mount them, and you can control them somewhat when you're on them. Sometimes it works pretty good, sometimes it just doesn't seem to work at all. But you want to aim them up the platform where there's enemies, because once they fall to the ground and you jump off of them, they can knock enemies off. So, and by the time that you've done that, your clone has probably regened, and then you can start using the clone again. Using the speed roll around this area is essential. Doing this without getting hit, it was never even a consideration. It's too difficult. You always get hit by something. But the main thing though is to reduce the number of the satyrs by throwing them off. Now, you are quite vulnerable after you do a throw, so you need to, if you see someone coming at you, you need to make sure that you delay your triangle a little bit so that they don't collide with you and cause you damage, because damage is, your HP is pretty precious on this fight. Now, you get some from doing that quick time event. I don't think you get any from burning them up, but the good thing about using the triangle attack is that you get iframes with it. So if you see someone coming at you, kind of delay it for a second and then execute the triangle, throw them off. I'm telling you things that in a best case scenario, usually something or some things in a really bad chain of events happen to you, and it just ends up in you're getting your ass beat and embarrassed. But it's really not that bad if you really get on the satyrs, because they take up the bulk of the fight, and then you could just have time enough for that clone to regenerate. The really good thing about a no upgrade run as it regards to the clone is that if you were to upgrade the clone, it only increases the cooldown. I'm sorry, it only decreases the cooldown time for the clone. It doesn't increase the clone's damage. So if you're doing an upgrade run, you don't have to feel like you're getting gypped from damage from that. Also, there's a skip you can do if you don't want to do the cutscene over here. I will show it to you. And then we've got a silly and stupid sliding section. But if you are having problems with that fight, I think I've laid the guidelines for success. It could take you a few tries. I think last time I remember saying it took me something like 10 hours, which I thought was ridiculous, but I remember it was really difficult and it was taking me several days. So when I said 10 hours, it was probably somewhere around 5 to 7. It could have been 10 for all I know. But when I did it this time, I I think I was doing it for about no more than an hour. No more than an hour, but yeah, 10 hours. I wasn't doing it the way I did it now, so it's a lot easier this way, and I hope that it's you know, that way for you too. At some point, you will do it. Make sure though, make absolute sure you leave this chapter with the shield, because the shield that you potentially get in this chapter, that's going to be the last one for until the end of the game. So there are no more shields post chapter 24, excuse me. So if you do have to go back, and I'm sorry that I'm talking at the end a little bit, but I need to warn folks about that. If you are in later chapters, and there really aren't that many, but if you are in later chapters, you're going to have to come back to this chapter and do this fight over again to acquire a shield. So just make sure you leave the stage with a shield. That has been the 24th chapter. I will see you on the 25th. We will be back in the furnace, and I will see you there. Please take care.